Hello, in this video I will walk you through a melodic dictation activity. First thing we want to do is listen to the example, so I'm going to press play. In order to complete the exercise, we need to write in the scale degree numbers of the notes we heard, the solfege syllables, and the music notation. I'll play it one more time, and then I'll begin writing in those items. So I heard the first notes being do, do, re, do, or 1, 1, 2, 1, so I'm going to write that in. In order to write in the scale degree numbers, I need to double click and delete the symbol that's there, in this case a green X. Then I will type in a caret, which is the shift 6, that gives a little hat, and write the number of the scale degree. Then I'll press tab, goes to the next one, delete, press the shift 6, which is the caret, and the number 2, etc. Tab, delete, caret 1. Next I'll put in the solfege syllables. Same thing, double click, delete, do for 1. Then for this text, I click the spacebar to go to the next item, delete, re for scale degree 2, spacebar, delete, and do. For the music notation, I'm going to follow the rhythm guide that is given. And if you notice in my toolbar, I don't have any durations to help me change the duration of the notes. So if you'd like those in your toolbar, go to the palette menu, and choose duration. And now we have the duration in the toolbar. There are also some keyboard shortcuts we can use. I'll show both. So to put in the note, we can simply click once on a rest, hover over that, put in the note. Now we have a quarter note, which we would like to make an eighth note, so I can go to my duration tool and make it an eighth note. I can continue to write in notes over the rests. Now notice that my note on beat 3 is an eighth note, and it should be a quarter note. I could go to the duration, but I can also go to the brace key, or bracket or brace, and if I click on the brace on the right side, it'll lengthen the duration. Shorter, longer. So I can also do my duration with the typewriter keyboard. Be sure that when you've completed this that you click Save. Also that you click to export as a full score PDF so we can look at it in class later. And then hit the Submit button. If for any reason you do a bunch of notes that you don't like and you want to revert, you can go to the Versions button, and you can select an earlier version and it will revert back to its original state and you can start over. Alright, one more feature of Noteflight that's nice when you're doing dictation is you can actually listen to what you wrote and hear the pre-recorded dictation at the same time to check your work. In order to do that, we need to open the mixer. So I'm going to go back to my palette menu and I'm going to go down to Sound. Now in my toolbar I see I have the little mixer button, so I'm going to click the mixer, and this shows me the two staves that are here, and it also shows me the SoundCloud file, which was the original recording. That's selected now, so I'm going to also select notation so I hear the notation that I put in. I'll bring up the volume of the SoundCloud a little bit and I'll press play. So it sounded like my notation was correct. Just to show that we're hearing both, I'm going to change to an incorrect note. Alright, so now I have some wrong notes, and I'm going to press play again, and we should hear the original recording clashing with my notation.